Hello, I'm Rod Raglin, and this is Not Your Family, Not Your Friend Book Reviews. Book reviews without a conflict of interest. On this channel, I not only review the books by new self-published authors, I also offer up some advice on how to improve their writing. One of the best ways is to read books about how to write. It's also one of the least expensive, since most of these books can be borrowed from the library. I'm reviewing two books today by John Gardner, one of the most famous teachers of fiction writing. The first is The Art of Fiction, Notes on Craft for Young Writers, and the second, Nickel Mountain, one of his novels. The Art of Fiction, Notes on Craft for Young Writers by John Gardner. One of the most interesting things about this book is how attitudes have changed in regards to what it means to be an author. The Art of Fiction, Notes on Craft for Young Writers by John Gardner was published in 1984, long before the advent of online platforms that make self-publishing free and easy for any and everyone. This is not your How to Write a Novel for Dummies, and Gardner definitely would not have supported everyone's right to publish, as proclaimed by many indie authors and the entire self-publishing industry. Gardner felt that aspiring to be an author was almost akin to a higher calling, and rigorous study and practice was required. As well as hard work and sacrifice, such a career choice came with duties and responsibilities, the most important of which is telling the truth. And not just getting the facts right, but making sure your fiction is believable and not perceived by the reader as a lie. Foremost, it must affirm moral truths about the human existence. Good fiction, according to Gardner, creates a vivid and continuous dream for the reader. Though the book contains good suggestions on craft, they're not presented point by point, but rather embedded within the text. That means enduring a lot of Gardner's rather academic, elitist attitude. Is it worth it? Definitely, if you're serious about becoming an accomplished author. Nickel Mountain by John Gardner. I began reading Nickel Mountain by John Gardner because I wanted to see if one of the most renowned teachers of fiction could actually write as well as he expected others to. As I said, and it's worth repeating, Gardner felt that aspiring to be an author was almost akin to a higher calling and required rigorous study, practice, and sacrifice, and came with duties and responsibilities. Telling the truth, according to Gardner, is not just getting the facts right, but affirming moral truths about human existence. Well, okay. That's quite a tall order, so I was curious to see if his fiction reflected all that high-minded stuff. Henry Soames is middle-aged but acts and thinks like an old man. He runs a truck stop restaurant by himself on a lonely highway. Everything about him is depressing. He's morbidly overweight, he's got a bad heart, he's filled with self-pity and shows it. He blames his overbearing mother and failure father for his station in life. This guy is your classic victim, and one of the most unsympathetic protagonists I've ever encountered. When an acquaintance suggests Soames hire his teenage daughter to help run the place, he agrees. Why? He agrees when there's no indication he needs help and is about as misanthropic as a person can be. Gardner doesn't tell the reader. Which is interesting because the relationship between Soames and Callie, his 16-year-old employee, is the crux of the story. Technically, Gardner starts with promise. His opening sentence is brilliant. However, he delays the inciting incident until it's almost too late, and when it's revealed, it's tepid. Good fiction, according to Gardner, creates a vivid and continuous dream for the reader, but his writing is difficult and complicated, not at all vivid and continuous. I had the impression Gardner was writing more for effect, that would be, than affect. He would introduce a literary device, not because it enhanced the story, but rather to illustrate his profound literary prowess. Since I abandoned Nickel Mountain at page 33, I can't say whether moral truths about the human existence were ever affirmed, but for the pages I did read, I can affirm The story was depressing and monotonous, filled with insignificant details I imagine the reader was supposed to infuse with meaning which bordered on creepy. My conclusion is that rigorous study and endless practice is indeed necessary for an author, but it's obviously not a guarantee he'll write a good book. 4 stars for The Art of Fiction, 2 stars for Nickel Mountain. This is not a commercial site. I'm not interested in accumulating likes or subscribers to influence advertisers or to get free books or whatever, but I am interested in your comments. What motivates you to write? Whatever it is, keep writing, and remember what Nietzsche said. Art is a proper task in life.